If they have no financial education, they want to sit down and it's their biggest, part of their life is to make this purchase. So that sets a level of comfort. And especially if their English is their second language, I want to make sure they understand what I need to say and that I understand what they need to say. So you can tell so much face to face.
Welcome back to Good Better Broker as we bring in Michelle Chretien. She is a branch manager with Milestone Mortgage Solutions, and she is based in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Hello, how are you, Justin?
Michelle, I'm doing great. It is so wonderful to have you here and to have a fellow New Englander here in the studio with us.
So excited to be here.
I'm not going to lie. When you and I first got on a call together, I heard that unmistakable New England accent come out a little bit.
For sure.
And it brought me right back home. Right back home. So, again, thanks for bringing all of your experience here to the podcast. And speaking of, Michelle, you've been in the industry since the early 90s, 33 years for you now in the mortgage business. Yeah, right? Exactly. Sure. Setting records for the earliest loan ever written at 10 years old. You've been with Milestone now for about a year.
Yes.
And I want to just start by asking you about what I previously mentioned, your experience, your longevity. What do you attribute it to?
Stupidity? No, I'm just teasing. Well, I came into the industry in operations mode as an assistant. So it's always changing and it's always exciting and ever changing. Just what you think you've got it all figured out. Something throws your curveball. So that exciting part is what keeps me sucked into it.
That's great. That you still have that level of enthusiasm for it after all these years. You said that your superpower is figuring out what's best for the client by including them in the process. Tell me how that works.
So a lot is, in the beginning, technology is amazing. So we'll say, oh, here's the link, fill out my application, and we'll take care of it. But you don't know what your customer has for technology challenges, depending on if English is a second language. So I start with them, like, how do you want to be spoken to? Do you want to be communicated by text, by email? There's always one, if it's a couple, there's always one that takes the stronger financial lead. So figuring out where they want to go and what they want to do. And I find out what their goals are, and we tailor the needs to the mortgage to their goals and what they want to achieve.
I think it's a really good point because oftentimes people, especially with as much experience as you, will automatically assume that they know exactly what is best for the client that's sitting across from them.
Yeah.
But you are very intentional about kind of taking a step back from that and making them feel like they have a say in the matter.
And give them the choices. Do you want the cheapest rate or do you want the least amount of closing costs? Because that's two different entities. And sometimes we just assume they're just looking for the best rate, but maybe they're not. Maybe they want more of a nest egg because of life changes coming.
So part of your approach is a willingness to sit like you and I are right now, face to face. And here in 2026, let's be honest, that doesn't happen all the time. Why is that still a popular option from what you have heard from your clients?
Well, a lot, especially if they have no financial education. They want to sit down and it's their biggest, part of their life is to make this purchase. So that sets a level of comfort. And especially if their English is their second language, I want to make sure they understand what I need to say and that I understand what they need to say. So you can tell so much face to face.
It's a great point about the second language because, as you said, mortgage for a lot of people is a second language, right? It's an entirely different concept to so many people out there who have never done a mortgage before. How do you think that this willingness to sit with people face to face has helped your business?
Oh, it's absolutely grounded. Like referrals have been coming through just because she took the time. She cares. It shows that you care. You can say you care, but to show you care is a different story.
So another thing that you like to do, and maybe this will not surprise people just based on what they've already learned about your personality, you like to make the mortgage process fun.
Yes.
How do you do that, Michelle?
Oh, we do goofy videos. We send things on different aspects of life. My team is phenomenal because I hate numbers so bad. But I have a great team behind me that loves them. We have a rotary phone in the office. I'll record videos pretending I'm getting a phone call for a clear to close with a rotary phone. I send it to the realtors. I send it to the clients. They send me texts back saying, oh my goodness, this is crazy. You're going to Hollywood next. So we just make it's stressful enough that you got to add some life to it.
And what kind of response do you get from clients when they see how laid back you are about it?
It's crazy because especially if it's a customer that comes in with a credit challenge, I share my credit story. I wasn't always great. I was young and silly and wild with credit and got in trouble. But that was a moment in time. So let's get you back to where you need to be to do this loan. And so that just sharing your experiences gives them the comfort, and they know that I might curse here or there and things like that, and they're okay with it. They get the real authentic me.
Yeah, and that truly makes you relatable when you tell them about your own personal history and some of the obstacles that you had to overcome. Yeah. So I think that's a really good point that you just made. Another thing you do, you're very intentional about having a big presence in your local community.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, and how does it help business?
So we sponsor a lot of different things. We sponsor veterans organizations, kids, youth sports things. We just recently, at our Little League, one of my friends also sponsors a team. So we socially trash talked each other because it was the two teams playing each other. And then we show up at the field and we start egging each other on and whatnot. And it's great. Like the kids all laugh. You know, I only sponsor a certain level because, you know, over 12, they get taller than me. And that's just not cool. It has to be all little ones.
Well, but the point you're trying to make is that, you know, you actually show up. It's much like you sit with your clients and have conversations with them. You're actually going out into the community because you could obviously just write a check, but that's not your approach.
No. And our office is downtown, so most of the business owners downtown know me. I walk by and I wave like I'm the mayor, you know, which is hilarious.
I mean, I bet in a way, Michelle, you kind of are the mayor.
Well, yeah, except when the mayor comes down the street and gives me a kiss, tells me he loves me, and we keep walking. It's fun, you know, give me a kiss on the cheek. It's cute.
That brand equity that you've built up in the community there in Manchester, how do you quantify what it does for your ability to generate referrals?
I think it just starts with the trust. Everyone who knows me, and people talk about me, which is great, and haters will hate on you. And then you know you've made it when the haters hate.
So another thing about you have this genuine love for people.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I talk to enough of our clients, and some of them just say, you know, I'm not technically good at sales, or I don't love sales. I just love people.
That's me.
That's you.
That's me.
Why?
That gives me my energy. You know, my husband and I are exact opposite. We'll go to a party, I'll talk to everybody, and he'll go sit in the corner. And then until we, you know, it's great. But it's also, I think, because I listen to them is what's changed and evolved my business over the years. Different things, like I'm always still learning and always changing.
And you were telling me that you really like to find out what makes people who they are. That goes way beyond, you know, a question that you would ask taking an application. So why is that something you like to do?
Well, because you never know what they need and how I can help them or how they can help me. Because I really feel everybody in your world that you come into light with is either you're there to teach them or you're there to learn from them.
And how much have you learned from your clients?
So much. And, you know, I have a customer closing tomorrow. I'm flying home from here. And that changed my world because a week and a half ago, he said, well, wait a minute, you're not going to be at the closing table? And I said, I'm sorry, I'm traveling. But he has, you know, one of my partners. And so they said, can we have a meeting so we can go through the closing process? I said, sure. Now that's now into my business. So now we have a pre-closing meeting so everyone knows what's going on before they even get to the closing table. So it's a true celebration.
That is such a great point because, again, it goes back to assuming that you know what people want or what they don't want. But to actually hear from a client that they wanted to talk with you in advance of the closing, you would have never known that had you not had that conversation.
I've never done the pre-closing until this past week in all these years.
So you take one situation that you found to be impactful and then you're able to make that scalable, if you will.
Yeah. And I think that also makes it more relational. They tell you everybody they know.
You were talking earlier about a borrower who you encountered and English wasn't their first language. You have a really good story about this and how you really impacted this borrower. And I don't even think that it really is necessarily about, you know, oh, you got the loan, you're going to earn referrals. I love this story and I want you to share it with our audience.
He had gone to his local bank where he had quite a bit of funds in, personal and business, because he's self-employed. And they wouldn't meet him face to face. They said, we will only take an online application and someone will call you. So he called me. He got my business card from someone we don't even know who. And it was an old business card from a company I worked with years ago. He said, I'm at this address. I said, I'm not there anymore. So he says, all right, I come right now. So he came to my office with his tax returns. We sat down, we did his application. every condition we needed, I'd call him. And even if it was the electronic signatures, no, I come to your office and I'll sign. Because he made sure that he got that attention where he understood every aspect. It's just meeting them where they are.
And it's also recognizing that even in a world that is driven by technology and the ability to see anyone, anytime, anywhere via your phone, some people aren't okay with that.
No.
And you love that.
Oh, I love that. That fuels me up.
So cool. You also have a lot of different touch points with your clients. Which ones stand out to you?
I love the celebrations of life happenings with them, and especially we were just going through graduation season. So how many parents have I reached out to because their kids are going off to college and their empty nest is? We just went through kindergarten graduation with our granddaughter, which I bawled like a baby. So now I called all my parents who are going through kindergarten graduation and was like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And that's the part that I love to do. And just stay in touch with them.
Another one that you do that I'll tee up for you, and I want you to talk about it because I love this one and I think it's really cool and it's different, is you will send books for different life moments.
Yes. If somebody has a baby, we send out The Places You'll Go, Dr. Seuss. One of our local businesses, he stopped me in the street a few months ago to complain about it. Because his toddler wants to read it every night with them. And he said, that book's too long. Which is funny. I was like, great, then you think of me every night when you read that book to your child.
Listen, as somebody who read a fair amount of Dr. Seuss books when my kids were little, I can sympathize with that guy. What other books? There were some other ones you do.
So we do Good Grief. It's if somebody has a passing in the family, it's a great little read about the stages of grief. And then there's a David Bach book, I'm planking something latte for kids going off to college, like the cost of a latte. So it's just like how to budget and things like that, because you can get caught up in school with credit cards and all that stuff.
It just kind of struck me that this book gift idea or this book gift approach that you have aligns so nicely with your kind of just whole way of being with people in person, because not a lot of people read books anymore. A lot of people just, will scroll social media. So I think it's like a genuinely old school, caring way to show people that you are thinking about them.
And it's so easy. Amazon, click.
That's it.
It's done. You put a little love note on the Amazon part. It's great.
So there was a time, Michelle, when you actually took a step back from originating.
Yes.
What happened there?
Well, I thought it was going to be great, and I'm going to coach my team up, and we're going to have fun. And I think that way I can share who I am, whatnot, with the team and whatnot. I hated it. I missed my clients too much. I was like, I can't do that. Don't get me wrong. I still coach my team. I help them. I guide them. But I just love to be with the clients. Like, I missed it way too much.
That one-on-one time.
Yes.
It's fulfilling, right? And I can relate to that because I love sitting with our clients. I love the opportunity to be with you guys and hear about your successes and your stories and your obstacles that you overcome. So I think it's great. And you know what? It's not for everybody. Some people need to take a step back from origination as a business owner or a manager like yourself. But I like that you realize that is truly what you love about the business.
I was a broker owner for 5.5 years. Yeah. And then I merged with Milestone. And it's funny, I had some people say, well, you're leaving up as a broker owner? I was like, yeah, I'm leaving the junk I don't want to do. I don't want to do the call reports. There's a lot of things I don't want to do. So now I get to get back more and enjoy what I do with the clients.
So you were a broker owner, and once upon a time you were also a retail LO, Michelle. How do you describe the way that being in the broker channel has helped you become better at what it is you do?
Well, I think it's the want to close loans. When I was retail up until January 14th, 2020. So think about that. All those years. And then I opened my company January 14th, 2020. And I shout out because Dustin Singleton was my biggest therapist for years. Now Bo has taken on that role. So thank you, Bo. And it was, you're told some things like you're not going to be able to talk to an underwriter. You're not going to see a real person, all these things. But being a broker, you have choices and people truly want to help you do more and close more and help more families.
And the community, the fact
so
that
good.
brokers are lifting each other up.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, trying to compete against each other.
I met some of the most amazing people at different success tracks here, at AIM events, where you can pick up a phone and talk to anybody, and they're going to listen to you, and they're going to answer your questions, things like that. Something we didn't speak about when we first started talking, I got sick in 2021 and had to have some major surgery. I had brokers reach out to my kids. What do you need to help close mom's loans?
Wow.
I lost a kidney, so I was out of commission for a smidge. And that's the stuff that nobody tells you in the broker world. Like, you've got family, whether they are working with you or they're your supposed competitors, it's a family.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when your kids told you that was happening?
Shocked. People are reaching out. They're like, what do you need? Because at that point, both children were working with me. They're like, what does mom need for loans? What does she need help with? Do you need help with anything? That's what's special. That's the secret sauce.
I mean, it's a wonderful story, but I think it also says a lot about you and the way you carry yourself and the way that you treat others. And I think that our audience, people listening to this and watching this, if nothing else, I think that they will take away from what you have said is to just, as you were talking about earlier, meet people where they are.
Absolutely.
Listen to them, and you know what? If you can find time, and I know we're all busy, sit face to face with them, because you never know what you're going to learn from them.
Yeah, just keep learning and growing.
Well, you're still doing it after all these years, and like you said, you're only 28 years old, so you got so much runway ahead of you, Michelle. I just can't wait to see what you do.
Maybe another 40 years or so.
I can't wait to see you when you grow up.
I know.
It's going to be amazing.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for being here. It was awesome spending time with you. Michelle Chretien from Milestone Mortgage Solutions. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Good Better Broker and helping us support independent mortgage brokers everywhere. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about new videos, as well as your preferred podcast platform for a new episode every other Tuesday.